Hello guys, this is Revolution. So on this video, another Titanic battle, and the third video in the Goku vs Superman trilogy, following on from the first video, Ultra Instinct Goku vs Silver Age Superman, in the second video, Ultra Instinct Goku vs Superman Prime. This third video in the trilogy was supposed to be Ultra Instinct Goku vs Strange Visitor Superman, but the Strange Visitor Superman story arc is not set in the mainstream DC universe, thus meaning he is not canon. Dragon Ball pretty much has its own non-canon series going on right now called Dragon Ball Heroes, so to make it fair, we're going to use a non-canon Goku versus a non-canon Superman. Thus we will have Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Goku versus Strange Visitor Superman. It's safe to say that both of these non-canon characters are stronger than their mainstream counterparts, and Xeno Goku would literally mollywop Dragon Ball Super's Ultra Instinct Goku, no question. And to be brutally honest, so would Strange Visitor Superman, so that's why we're not doing that particular stomp battle. Xeno Goku vs Strange Visitor Superman is a far more even fight. However, there is one Superman that is even stronger than Strange Visitor Superman, and that is a canon version of Superman, and that is Cosmic Armor Superman. Now, that is pretty much just Superman's conscious put into basically a thought robot. But what I would like you to answer down in the comment section, would a Cosmic Armor Goku beat a Cosmic Armor Superman? What if Goku's consciousness was put into the thought robot rather than Superman's? Would he be even more powerful? Let me know your answers and reasons why down in the comment section. And whilst you're doing that, if you enjoy my videos and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do smash that red subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it to make sure you are notified when I release new content. Keep lending me your energy, keep smashing that like button. Every like truly helps my channel. And if you're on Instagram and Twitter, do come follow me on those social media platforms where we can discuss things further, and I will be creating a Discord server sometime soon, so stay tuned for that. So here we go, Xeno Goku vs Strange Visitor Superman, and we are going to be starting with the Man of Steel, Strange Visitor Superman. So the Strange Visitor story arc comes from the 2013 Adventures of Superman series. This particular adventure of Superman series was 51 issues long. The Strange Visitor story was only 3 issues, spanning from issue 46 to issue 48. However, this Superman story is not set in the pre-Crisis era, the post-Crisis era, the New 52 era. It simply is not mainstream DC canon, but instead features anthology-style stories with rotating creative teams that all have their own independent continuities. However, I commend Joe Keating for creating a really engaging Superman story that allows you to relate to his character at least somewhat, despite his enormous power come the end of the 3rd issue. So in the first issue, it literally kicks off with Superman and Batman in 1939 fighting with Dracula, yes, Count Dracula, against Frankenstein. The theme in this wacky battle is literally Superman always having a will to find a way, which ultimately he does. In the next few panels, we literally see Superman watching a spaceship that is literally powered by red kryptonite about to fly off into the cosmos. Superman has his doubts, but it goes anyway, and it eventually starts to go wrong, and Superman tries to stop it, yet the spaceship disappears. Superman, ever the optimistic, vows that he will one day find it. Onto the next issue after a certain few events, and then we see Superman being greeted by Lois Lane, an older Lois Lane in the present day, well 2014 to be exact. It's the 75th year of Superman, and he's being commended by all his peers, and we see a massive Superman statue in the middle that eventually attacks Lois Lane and literally starts melting her. Superman takes this statue into outer orbit, and it turns out that this statue is Mr. Mxyzptlk, the 5th dimensional imp, who is trying to fuck with Superman yet again. Anyway, Superman effortlessly enters the 5th dimension. This is literally stated in the panels. He talks about how his senses are adjusting to the 5th dimension. And Mr. Mxyzptlk also talks about how showing Superman this certain gift would be easier through the 5th dimension, and he then goes on to do so. He shows Superman the spaceship that he lost way back in 1939. Basically, this is one of Superman's only failures and something that he still hasn't succeeded in saving yet, and the main moral of the story is about Superman never giving up. Superman then goes to try and save this spaceship, but he can't enter the dimension this spaceship's in. This prompts Mr. Mxyzptlk to state that spaceship is in a dimension that even he can't enter, and it's far more volatile than even the 5th dimension. He actually mentions the 5th dimension. It isn't a pocket 5th dimensional structure, it's a higher dimension, a 6th dimension. At this current time, Superman doesn't have the power to save it, but he is powerful enough to exist in the 5th dimension, which is pretty impressive. But in the next issue, we get to see Superman billions upon billions of years later, pretty much at the end of time. It's pretty much the end of time, so Superman decides that with one of his last actions, he is going to go and save this spaceship that is stuck in that volatile dimension. Whilst doing so, we literally find out that he has duplicated himself to an unknown amount of different Supermen, but he wants to collect all these Supermen and merge back into one singular being. And it's even implied that one of these duplicated Superman have been holding a decaying, collapsing universal core together for an unknown quantity of time. This literally shows us that even at a fraction, a small fraction of his power, he is easily universal, but that's absolutely nothing. And another fraction of Superman's power is literally bridging together different space-time continuums, allowing all the Supermen to literally come to a certain point. Once he has merged back together, he literally rips a hole into the dimension that even Mr. Mxyzptlk couldn't enter. A 5th dimensional imp not only got there, but literally survived in this space that would have been a danger to the 5th dimensional imp. This puts End of Time Strange Visitor Superman at least low 6th dimensional in terms of destructive capacity. The power he demonstrates at the end, he will be a complex multiversal being. Unfortunately, this story arc was only 3 issues long, but the feat is absolutely incredible. It literally stomps on most versions of Superman you can think of. And as I mentioned earlier, even Ultra Instinct Goku from the Tournament of Power would stand no chance against this Superman. At the end of this saga, he literally saves the spaceship that he failed to save a long time ago. Like I said, the theme of this story arc is literally, if there's a will, there's a way, and he eventually finds a way even at the end of time. He never gave up, which is truly inspiring. And basically, this is a Superman that's literally just kept soaking up radiation until the end of time. His power level has just continuously kept increasing linearly until the end of time. Casually outsped the decay of the universe, a collapsing universe. He is massively faster than light, possibly immeasurable in terms of speed, at least low 6th dimensional in terms of destructive capacity and lifting strength. Some might say higher, but I would like to point out that it was also stated in this story that the binding of reality was at its weakest point, whatever that means. So I think it's fair to say that low 6th dimensional is a fair representation of his power. So it's pretty clear that Strange Visitor Superman is an absolute behemoth in terms of power, but what about Xeno Goku from the Dragon Ball Heroes storyline and the Dragon Ball video games? So quite recently we've had the debut of the promotional anime for Dragon Ball Heroes, and basically Xeno Goku featured in it and fought against Super Saiyan Blue Goku. That was a representation somewhat of the Dragon Ball Super Goku. It's not exactly the same as the mainstream canon version of Dragon Ball Super Goku, but you could call it an alternate adaptation of Dragon Ball Super Goku. However, this version of Goku is far stronger than anything even Ultra Instinct Goku is capable of achieving. Of course, that's not the Goku we're talking about. We're talking about Xeno Goku, and Xeno Goku has parallels to that Goku but also differs greatly. Just like that Goku, he went through all the events in Dragon Ball Z. However, he also went through all the Dragon Ball Z movie events, including Battle of Gods in the Nintendo 3DS game Dragon Ball Heroes Ultimate Mission. Xeno Goku even underwent the Super Saiyan God ritual and achieved Super Saiyan God. However, unlike regular timeline Goku, he never trained with Whis and learned how to adapt his God Ki abilities. He actually went on to go through the event in Dragon Ball GT, learning Super Saiyan 4, and then became a Time Patroller. So to get an idea on how powerful he has become as a Time Patroller in Dragon Ball Heroes, we have to look at events that have taken place not just in the Dragon Ball Heroes manga or the arcade cutscenes, Dragon Ball Heroes Ultimate Mission, Xenoverse 1 and 2, and even Dragon Ball FighterZ. In one of the missions for the arcade game, we see base Goku take on the Giant Demigra form, and we've seen the Giant Demigra form in Xenoverse 1. We'll get to that in just a moment, but basically, base Xeno Goku literally mollywops this giant form of Demigra. However, he has another evolution, what is known as Super Demigra. In the game itself, as Xeno Goku, you are equipped with the Super Saiyan transformation, but that's literally it, suggesting that at the worst case scenario, you would need to transform into a Super Saiyan to beat this form of Super Demigra. So talking about Giant Demigra, in the story mode to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, Saiyan Beyond God Super Saiyan 3 Goku fights against this giant form of Demigra alongside your custom created character. In the story, the Supreme Kai of Time, who is a 4th dimensional being herself, literally tells us that Demigra exists outside the regular flow of time, which basically means he's currently in a 5th dimension. When you actually get to the crack of time, you actually see lots of shards containing all different alternate timelines, and we also know that the Dragon Ball multiverse actually splits off into many different timelines following the ever as many world theory. Demigra's intentions and motivations in this story is to literally rewrite all of time and basically fashion the history of Dragon Ball in his own image, which suggests that he's capable of reality warping on a 5th dimensional scale. While in the game, Saiyan Beyond God Super Saiyan 3 Goku and your created character literally defeat this character. So back to the aforementioned fight about Giant Demigra versus Xeno Goku. As mentioned before, you only at least need Super Saiyan to defeat the Super Demigra, who is stronger than the Giant Demigra, who was at least 5th dimensional in the Xenoverse 1 game. However, here's the kicker. Super Demigra is not just a threat to the multiverse within the Dragon Ball Heroes game, he's actually a threat to the outside world. This was stated in an article for the game itself. What they mean by this is affect the outside world where Beat lives, where he plays the arcade game Dragon Ball Heroes, which means the world where Beat lives is literally an even higher existence than that of the 5th dimension, meaning it would be a 6th dimensional plane. And I may have failed to mention, I know I didn't really, but Super Saiyan Xeno Goku defeated this Super Demigra that literally was a threat not just to the realm but to the beings in that realm in a 6th dimension. That will put Xeno Goku as a Super Saiyan's attacking potency at least 6th dimensional. Main source for Dragon Ball characters' powers is Ki. Ki in the Dragon Ball world is a metaphysical energy that has never been stated to have any dimensional boundaries in terms of destructive capacity. As I've mentioned a plethora of times in my videos, it's been stated since early Dragon Ball, increase your Ki, increase all your combat abilities, which ultimately leads to exponential growth in terms of destructive capacity. So obviously we know that Xeno Goku isn't just capable of Super Saiyan, we've seen him use Super Saiyan 3 as well as Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4 is a hybrid transformation between the Uzaru and Super Saiyan transformations. It is incredibly powerful. I did a video last year cross-referencing sources and I found that it is possibly 400,000 times base. So by the time you stack Super Saiyan 4 on top of Super Saiyan 1 Xeno Goku's potentially in the mid 6th dimensional range. But that's not all. You went through all the events of Dragon Ball GT, which means he can use the Kamehameha times 10. So, who would win this battle of titans? Strange Visit to Superman has proven that he can rip a hole in 6th dimensional fabric, and Xeno Goku has literally beaten a character who can pretty much do the same thing and affect a 6th dimensional reality. However, the difference is Xeno Goku was only at Super Saiyan when defeating Super Demigra, meaning you could scale Xeno Goku to at least mid 6th dimensional if not higher. Whereas with Strange Visit to Superman, his feat literally puts him at low 6th dimensional. It's hard to really scale him any higher because we aren't given a vast amount of information on how much power he was using at that time. However, this iteration of Superman is billions upon billions of years old. Could he use that experience to get one over even the power advantage that Xeno Goku would possess? Possibly, but Goku is a genius martial artist himself, and this is an experienced version of Goku who's gone through all the events of Dragon Ball GT, and therefore should know the Kamehameha times 10. If he uses a move as powerful as that, that should get the job done. So Xeno Goku would definitely have to use his Super Saiyan 4 transformation. Remember, these heroes characters and gaming characters are far stronger than the regular Dragon Ball Super characters. Even if you got Awakened Jiren and Ultra Instinct Goku from Dragon Ball Super's Tournament of Power, Strange Visit to Superman would literally beat both of them at the same time with no difficulty. Regardless, Xeno Goku wins this fight. Let me know your thoughts down on this down in the comments section. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know your reasons why. Keep it civil. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button and lend me your energy. Until next time, Ad Astra.